All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Friday Night Magic tournament from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name is Zachary Evans. I'm joined tonight by Michael Taylor.
Hello.
Michael has been, it's been a while since you've been commentating. You were a regular for about a month.
Yeah.
But then when new cards came out, you decided you like Magic again.
Yeah.
And I cannot fault you for playing. But for those of you who are already joining us, we appreciate numbers. If I can get 30 people to watch an empty table before FNM starts, I think we're in for a good night. For those of you watching on YouTube, obviously we appreciate that. Try to check us out live every Friday night here at FNM. So let's talk some numbers, Michael. Last week, all-time record attendance, 43 people.
43.
This week, 46. This is the sixth consecutive week that we've had over 40 people. Prior to this year, I don't think we ever had anyone over 40, even once. I don't even know if for like an Innistrad game day, or Innistrad release, we had over 40 people.
When I started playing here around this time last year, it was a good day to get 20 people.
So we're very excited that the Magic community is healthy and in good shape here. Glad that everybody could make it out tonight for what will undoubtedly be some high-quality Magic action. And for those of you who are local and aren't here, you are missing out. I don't know, nothing clever to say there. Just you should come down and play. But so let's talk about the round one matchup. We're playing 5 rounds of Swiss tonight, followed by a cut to top 8. Let's talk about the decks and the people that are in front of us. On the left is Cliff Marcum, who has played on camera many times before. Unfortunately, most of you remember, as he is the gentleman who accidentally cyclonic rifted his own permanent and caused the biggest storm in the history of the stream. But he promises he will not do that tonight. He is on the left, and he is playing against Nathan Nutter, who has recently started playing at the shop. He's not played on camera before. I'm not exactly sure what he's playing tonight, but good to see some of the newer players come out today. And we are an equal opportunity feature match provider. Don't have to be a seasoned veteran to find yourself at table 0 here at Lost Legion. So let's talk about decks. Cliff Marcum, for those of you who are friends of our Facebook page and have watched that, this week I posted a link to noted deck brewer Travis Wu, who is at it again with yet another fun build. This time a deck that he calls Omnidoor Thragfire, which I have Thragtusk instead. But basically it's a combo deck that resolves around ramping up hard-casting Omniscience, chaining some tutors together, taking some extra turns, and then winning with Door to Nothingness. And then he can alternatively, in the sideboarded games, win with Worldfire. So this is pretty fun. Nathan, I'm not sure exactly what he's playing. Looks like he's playing some kind of green-black aggro deck. It might be the Precon deck with some slight modifications, I think.
I've actually played against him the first time he played here, I think 2 weeks ago, and yeah, it was some variation of green-white humans, I think.
Oh, no, it's
oh, he's playing something different.
He got some new jams here, as he's started off with a Slitherhead into a Lotleth Troll. Then, yeah, Cliff, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this deck, the deck list is posted currently on, or a link to it. It's on Channel Fireball, but you can see a link to it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. But basically, he's not going to do anything.
It's very much a back control shell.
Yeah, with ramp, he's playing Ranger's Path. He's playing Farseeks. He's playing Chromatic Lantern. But he's not going to do very much proactively. Most of his deck is just reactive. Terminus, Supreme Verdicts, Thragtusk, of course, is a tempo card. But he's basically just trying to get to 10 mana and then cast all the spells for free.
Mm-hmm. And I think the stock list only plays 1 Thragfire main, and it sideboards the other 3. So Thragtusk in that case is really just like a win condition.
Yes.
Not so much a stabilization tool.
Yeah, that's the card that you win with when you cast Worldfire.
Yeah.
Because you cast Worldfire, you get your token, and then you attack them for the win. He also plays Alchemist Refuge, which allows him to do that at the end of his opponent's turn,
Yeah.
and then win attack on his turn, basically with haste.
Alchemist Refuge is very good. If
Yeah,
you're playing a deck that can get a lot of mana.
Yeah, a lot of the, I started seeing it in the last few weeks at the bigger tournaments at the Star Cities and the Grand Prix showing up as a one-of in these, I think Jerry Thompson, well not Jerry Thompson, but I think someone was playing it in the top 8 of the TCG player had their 50K Invitational this past weekend. I think it started to make a little bit of breakout there. Also an interesting sideboard card that's showing up, Curse of Echoes. Familiar with that card? From, I believe from Innistrad.
Is it the one, if any player casts it, or if the cursed player casts a spell, everybody else can copy it?
Yeah, and choose new targets.
Okay.
Almost exclusively for Sphinx's Revelation. If you get to draw 8 cards, I might as well draw 8 too.
And
So.
you'll draw yours first too, so you might even draw into a counterspell.
You might. You might. So in the meantime, Cliff has done, as advertised, done nothing. But as long as he is not dead, he's drawing live here.
Oh, speaking of Alchemist Refuge, I was actually watching Travis Wu's stream when he was playing this deck.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, on his own end step, his opponent casts, or on Travis's end step, his opponent casts Sphinx's Revelation, taps out.
Mm-hmm.
Travis responded by activating the Alchemist Refuge and then casting Temporal Mastery. Then after his opponent's Revelation resolved and he's still tapped out, he goes and takes his extra turn.
And just does whatever he wants to do.
Drops a door to nothingness and casts another Temporal Mastery and then just wins.
Yeah. I think it plays 2 Time Walks, basically, and then you chain those together so that you can, basically in your first extra turn, play the door, and your next extra turn, activate the door. So, back to the match there at the end of Nathan's turn. Cliff cast Revelation for 2. And then landed a Chromatic Lantern, so he'll untap with 7 with the ability to go to 8. Facing 5 damage on board. I'm trying to see, is that a Desecration Demon in Nathan's hand? That's a card I'm really surprised haven't seen a lot more of.
Yeah, you think a 6/6 for 4 would be a little more.
Yeah, it just shows people how spoiled people are with Titans.
Yeah.
And we see that's a 1 fog in Cliff's deck, right?
I think
he's playing the exact list that I posted on the internet, so whatever that was in that list is what...
I think it main decks 2
And
fogs.
there it is, there's the aforementioned Alchemist Refuge. A blue and a green gives everything flash.
What just happened to me should have been on camera because it was disgusting.
Are you done already?
Yeah, I just lost.
We
Because of curses.
Oh, we'll talk about it in a second. So someone,
Curse deck is floating
someone just Logan Cutlip, who you'll know from stream in the past, apparently just lost in 6 minutes to curses.
around. Curses foiled again.
Yeah, I don't know what. Is there a reason why Nathan hasn't been attacking with the Slitherhead?
That's a good question.
It doesn't have vigilance, right?
Not,
It's just a
far as I know.
scavenge for 0, right?
I mean, I guess maybe he's thinking he'll need to chump block a haster out of
Yeah.
non-red deck. I don't know.
Yep. So we're talking about Desecration Demon. I can hear them out there explaining it. So basically, at the beginning of every untap. That's not it at all. If I'm stumbling at this point, 7 minutes into round 1, it's going to be a long night, folks. Had a busy week at work. I'm struggling. But basically, at the beginning of each combat phase, your opponent can sacrifice a creature and tap the demon.
Which I don't think is going to come into play this
No.
game.
Well, he might stack his 1 Thrag Tusk at some point. But,
So he's going to want a Supreme Verdict.
is he
Very
doing
soon.
something? Is this another Revelation? Yeah. How much is it for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like for 5. Indeed it is.
It's not bad at all.
Sphinx's Revelation is one of those cards where I think people get in the habit of wanting to tap out for it or save it for like massive gain. But that time when he did it for 5 and drew 2 cards and gained 2 life, sometimes you just gotta slot it in.
Sometimes you need the cards to
I mean,
stay in the game.
it's an instant speed extra draw spell, so
Yeah.
it's never going to be bad, even if you just draw 2 off of it. And it's really just a tempo card. Now, he has a Temporal Mastery in his hand, I think. He has another Lantern. I can't tell if there's a fog. Oh, he has the Omniscience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So he's 2 mana off Omniscience.
No, it's 2 Temporal Masteries.
Ah.
He could just Temporal Mastery, and see what the top of his deck offers.
Well, if he's playing Terminus, he's going to want one of those or a Supreme Verdict within the next couple of turns.
Yeah, because he's facing down assuming Nathan attacks with a Slitherhead this time, which I probably not a fair assumption. He's facing down 10 power, so he could discard 3 cards and potentially kill Cliff. I think he's just going to cycle his Time Walks here, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if that's what he's doing, then he's definitely digging for a
And
sweep.
preemptively, before the chat explodes, if for any reason the graveyard should come into play, I will go out there and remind Cliff that Temporal Mastery is removed from game. Yeah, Cliff saw this deck. He hasn't been to FNM in a couple weeks. It's been, it is the season where everyone is busy with things. I think he said he is missing company Christmas party tonight. Oh, is that it? This is Omniscience?
Omniscience.
So there you go, folks. It's round 1. We've got the fun decks on. And there's your turn whatever Omniscience. So I'm not sure what's in Cliff's hand. I know he has another Time Walk. So that will inevitably get... Oh, door.
Is that a door?
And if he has the Temporal Mastery, he'll just win. Yep.
He's got the Lantern out. He can make all the mana. That's going to do it.
You don't even have to chain anything. You just naturally do it.
What a game to start the stream off with.
Targeting Nathan. So, there you have it. If nothing else, if that's not a good reason to watch this stream, I don't know what is. It's just under 7 o'clock Eastern on a Friday night. You're at home trying to enjoy a nice evening of imaginary wizard fights coming to you live from a broom closet in a state most people don't know exists. Streamed directly into your home or place of business or cell phone.
Most people assume is half of a different state.
Yes, mostly when I tell people I live in West Virginia, the most common response is, "Oh, I have relatives that live in Richmond." To which I respond, "They could live on the moon for all I care. It has nothing to do with this conversation." All joking about the great mountain state of West Virginia aside. Cliff Marcum moves up 1 game. And now we go to the boards. I can look into the sideboard of Cliff's deck. If my computer does not fail me, I can go back and look at that post. Were you familiar with the sideboard of the stock list? Because like I said, he is playing the list I posted online.
I know it's got like Centaur Healers, Thragtusks, a World Fire.
Yeah, it's probably not even
like
it's probably not even worth looking up. It's probably just going to be the cards you expect to come in, all the typical anti-aggro cards.
Yeah,
because while Nathan's deck is a little bit slower, it's got some more tempo-ish cards in it, I guess. It's not the fastest aggro deck in the world, but it still is an aggro deck, and you still want to be able to gain some incremental life.
I think, I can't remember if there's 4 Revelations main or not. I know there's 4 between the main and the board, but I don't think he starts with them all main.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be a 2-2 split.
I'm trying to go. I've just now remembered that the chat exists, so I'm looking to see if anything is going on in there. Someone did complain about the Temporal Mastery in the graveyard, but I think they were just poking fun at me, so I'm on board with that. I also recognize that in past weeks I get really bent out of shape about the chat sometimes, and I probably should tone that down. I think it was there was one time last week something was going on. I can't remember what it was. It was, there was a couple players who, as we see, it looks like Nathan doesn't have a sideboard. Is that correct? But I did see him look at
he didn't have a board when I played him.
But he does have Vraska in this deck. And regardless of whether or not it's super awesome or tuned for this specific deck, I just love that card. I love the art of that card, and I just love anything that says Vindicate for free.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. I like the versatility of being able to just drop it and kill something.
Yeah.
I mean, you always 1-for-1 at least with them.
But just to finish my thought earlier, like last week, there was a situation with Thalia. There's a Thalia out in a mirror match of green-white aggro decks, and no one was paying attention to Thalia, so I was just constantly opening the door telling people, oh, ring costs 4, your ring card costs 2. And I missed one apparently because there was a stack of lands, and I couldn't tell how many it was.
Like a sea of capital letters.
Yeah, and I was just, and after the Cyclonic Rift incident, I was just, it looks like he did. Maybe he does have a sideboard. I don't know. But someone put it best when they just one comment. They said, "This guy needs to calm down," and he was exactly right. So you know what I will do tonight? I need to do this. We have had something happen this week that I have yet to have happen, and it happened twice. 2 separate people contacted me and said, "Hey, can give me a shout out on the stream. And I have literally no reason not to do that. So one of them, it is in fact his birthday today.
Happy birthday!
And he lives in the Philippines.
Nice.
He has been watching for several weeks. And if I do not want to mess up his name, because it is a traditional Tagalog or Pinoy name, and I don't, not as familiar with those, so I will just look at it. If my computers are hard, turns out. How do I scroll down on this? Well, everything is going wrong. I apologize for for however long. But I believe his name is Arnulfo? That may be horribly wrong. I gotta find this. But he is a young man who watches us all the way from the Philippines. And it is his birthday, so happy birthday to him. Name pending. He's most likely asleep. It is a 12-hour difference to... Actually, it's more than 12 hours, because that's... Arnulfo Tagoy Jr. That is his name. Or that's my best approximation, right? That's A-R-N-U-L-F-O. So happy birthday to him. If you two would like your own birthday shout-outs. As someone pointed out earlier, when you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/thatsellsmagic, and you like our page, which is a great way to support the stream and spread the word, I almost inevitably add you as a friend. And then what you choose to do with that friend request is up to you. I would take no offense. But if you do add me as a friend, and I see it's your birthday in my little Facebook on the top right-hand corner, I'll send you happy birthday. That's personal. That's coming from me. That's not automated.
For it.
No? So, it's those little things we give back. Also, Michael, no one else can see. We'll show it a little bit later. But I do have a giant bag full of rock, paper, scissors cards. I've reloaded.
Nice.
So we are back, ready to go. If you want to know more information about our rock, paper, scissors giveaway, we'll be visiting that later on in the night. Last week I moved it. We usually give those away on Twitter. Mm-hmm. This past week I moved it to Facebook.
I think we're seeing a lot more Facebook activity.
Big hit. Yeah, there's some places that are more Twitter-based regionally, and some people... The Charleston metro area is very much a Facebook. And it's much easier for me to discuss with people on there, too, and it's a lot easier to get the word out, so... And then we might, like I said, we might have to do the drawing offline this week, simply because I did not have time before the round, due to some work commitments, to get here early enough to jot down that list, which actually takes a long time to scroll through the comments and find 50 plus people.
Yeah, the system doesn't scale very well.
But rest assured, we will be giving away, drawings today, we'll be giving away another play set of rock, paper, scissors cards from Unglued, as we always do, as well as... last week's promo was it the last Cathedral of War? Is that what we were giving out?
I think so.
And then I'm going to try and we've been doing some fun player-altered and signed cards. Started with Adam Vickers. Last week we had FNM champ Garrett Meadows alter a card. Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can find a Tree of Redemption and have Max Turner alter it in a Christmas theme.
Excellent.
Seems to be fun. All of these things can be yours. If the price is right. But no, if you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/thatsellsmagic, more information, or just watch the rest of the stream, my ugly bearded face will be on here talking about it once this match is over. So it looks like Cliff went down to 6. Did I see that correctly? Well, Nathan's deck, for being new to Magic, has a lot of hot jams in it, as the kids in Beckley would say.
Yeah.
Tetheric Shaman, good in all 4 formats. And a surprise move from Cliff's deck does nothing. But that's what... His doing nothing worked pretty well last game.
Does nothing and does nothing and does nothing until it does something.
So it looks like a Lawless Pearl comes down. So again, didn't attack there. Probably just...
Not optimal.
Yeah, it's just it's a mistake, but everybody has to start somewhere. No real reason not to there.
And to his credit, when I played him, he was a real nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, something might have changed in 2 weeks. He could be a complete dick now, but...
No, I spoke with him beforehand. He's a very nice guy. So there's Dregmangler on curve. Isn't this like the ideal curve for the zombies? Well, he got it that time.
Yeah.
So it looks like 6 to me. So smashing Cliff down to 4. Cliff's got to be, especially with a on-curve Drag Mangler. Cliff's got to be a pretty big dog on the draw in this matchup, unless he has turn 4 Verdict, and even then it might not be good enough.
Yeah, because he's at least 2 turns away from that.
Mm-hmm.
He may be playing his Aureus Charms. I don't remember if the deck sideboards those or not.
What did Cliff do on his turn? I missed it.
He dropped a land. Oh, he also drew a card.
So the same 6 pounds in.
No fog.
Yeah, I like Fog. I think Fog is a highly underrated card.
Well, since creatures have just been getting better and better, anything that can basically blank their creatures for
and
a
especially
turn
decks
also gets better.
And with Rakdos decks taking off, like, sometimes you just need that extra turn.
Mm-hmm.
And those decks that play Snapcaster, I mean, 2 Fogs, it seems like invaluable.
Yeah.
Nothing from Cliff. If that's a Lumber Knot, and Deadweight, and is this Splinter Fright? Yeah. Deadbridge Goliath, that's another card that, like, I'm super, and there is the Fog,
Okay.
right? Deadbridge Goliath, which we'll be giving away a playset of at some point. I do have those in the prize support. But it's another card that, like, if that card was printed, like, 8 years ago,
Yeah.
wouldn't it just be the nuts?
It'd have been
5/5 for 4 that you can
It'd
scavenge.
have been a mega chase rare.
And now it's like they give it away for free, and no one plays it.
I remember people making a big deal over Balduvian Hordes.
Oh, that's like the most overrated card in
Yeah.
the history of
I
Magic.
get the 5/5 for 4, and all you have to do is discard a random card.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as we see the turn 5 Verdict from Cliff, because Nathan chose to add to the board there, could not regenerate his... Oh wait, that's actually a good question. Supreme Verdict you can regenerate?
Supreme Verdict does allow regeneration.
Yeah, I thought it did. So could not regenerate, but it does follow up with another Deadbridge. And let's look at Deadbridge here on the card viewer and see how much it costs to scavenge it.
I believe it's 6. 2 green and 4.
Well, if nothing I've learned over the course of the stream, it's not to trust you at all. It is 6. 4 and 2 green. And you can have a 10/10. So if he plays a land, Cliff is dead on board. Correct? 5 mana for Thrag's Tuskerton.
Alright, that's going to keep him in it for a little longer.
It's not just going to keep him in it, Michael. It's going to keep him in it to win it.
If he can find a way to Worldfire while that Thragtusk is on the board, he will indeed win it.
He's going to deadweight it, which will at least let him trade profitably with the front half.
Yeah.
Seems fine.
And I suppose that probably is the only target for deadweight in the entire deck.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is that Lumber Knot? I'm trying to remember back from... let's check it out. I think that's Lumber Knot. That is Lumber Knot. So for those of you who have no idea what Lumber Knot is, it's hexproof, and whenever a creature dies, he gets a +1/+1 counter. I don't like that nearly as much as the Deadbridge Goliaths.
No, I mean, it was pretty beastly in Innistrad Draft, but not so much in Constructed, really.
Ranger's Path. He's going to go find him some lands there. What happened when the Deadbridge attacked? Do you know?
Well, it doesn't look like he blocked with the Thragtusk. I don't think he fogged.
Do I have the life totals incorrect? Or do they have the life totals incorrect? Oh, no. I forgot to see what happened here. Is I changed the life total offline, but then did not hit enter.
Ah.
So my title never updated. So he was at 13, then took 5 off of the attack, putting him back down to... yeah, it looks like something's going on with Twitch. I don't know exactly what's going on because the stream itself is fine on our end. So
Yeah, it's having little moments of clarity, but it's seeming pretty choppy.
yeah,
Going to go ahead and blame that one on Twitch.
Yeah, it's completely on the other end. It's not. We have good signal, which is rare for us, and
looks like it might be getting a little better.
Yeah, so hopefully that's
knock on wood.
Yeah, after we've lost 20 viewers because of it. I like the guy who just puts an unwatchable stream and then leaves. So, more importantly, let's go back to the match here. Cliff is now sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lands. He is at 8 life. He is dead on board if Nathan can find another land and remembers to scavenge. Oh, he attacked in with that beast token, right? He's just going to hard cast a Terminus here.
Seems like the thing to do.
Mm-hmm. I approve of it. I will not complain. And then he's going to follow up with a Farseek, which will give him his 10th mana. That obviously being the crucial number of mana to get to in this deck. So now,
is Worldfire also 10?
Wait a minute, could Nathan have 1? Because he had a Dreadmangler in the bin too, didn't he? That's 5 to scavenge. Is there a point where he could have scavenged 1 and attacked for 8? Well, Cliff had the Thragtusk at that point, right? So he'd gone up to 13.
He had the blocker.
Yeah. And he just drew a land off this turn, right? Last week we saw some shenanigans out of Giant Growth, where runner-up last week, Corey Buchanan, playing green-white aggro, was using Giant Growth. And again, it's one of those cards that, like the top echelons of the Magic community, I think is the little kid card, but it served basically as a counterspell most of the games.
Giant Growth is a very good card.
Well, when you pair something with a Silverblade Paladin and then Giant Growth Giant Growth is pretty good.
Yeah.
That was actually the highlight last week, was Corey going from having done no damage in the game to winning all in one attack.
Yeah.
Thanks to a Restoration Angel at end of turn, Silverblade Paladin, and then 2 Rancors. And then he also had a Giant Growth in his hand, so an embarrassment of riches.
Still had all these +3/+3s.
Yeah. So Cliff has 10 mana now. He drew a card that is not playable. I imagine is it Sphinx's Revelation, as we see Corpsejack Menace from Nathan, which basically anytime he scavenges, it's for double.
Yeah.
So Cliff will be dead next turn if Nathan remembers to scavenge his Dreadmangler.
There's no end of turn Sphinx's Revelation. So
I'm trying to think what card in his hand is not playable.
Maybe a Fog?
Or maybe he's just dead.
Could be. Maybe he's bluffing with the land.
Oh, he forgot. He forgot. Missed the on board there. We will we'll let him know afterwards. You gotta learn.
Yep.
This looks like a verdict. 5 is another Thragtusk.
Maybe it's a tutor.
It's tough. It's a tough life when... Yeah, it is a tutor. He's going to go get the... Go get a Terminus, I guess. In this case, if you need a sweeper, you should probably get the one that costs the most, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's not gonna gain anything by holding 2 mana open. No. There's no counterspells in the deck.
No. Question about whether or not there is a baby in the shop. There is. I believe someone is playing with their baby here. They're in the tournament and they have a child. So that will be a task. That will be a task. So did you see what he actually did end up searching for? I assume Supreme Verdict, right? Unless he had a verdict in his hand. If he had a verdict in his hand and was slow rolling it, and then, because he didn't realize this, they both missed this scavenge thing, and he had lost like that,
yeah,
he would have, oh, well, that's better.
Oh, we're gonna get his
Thragtusk back. Yeah. So more than anything, it gives him a win condition, obviously, but it also creates a giant wall. Oh, I see a Vampire Nighthawk. That will nicely trade in combat with.
Not a bad top deck.
No, not a bad card ever. If there was ever a card, an uncommon, that dominated a limited environment,
Yeah.
it was Zendikar era Vampire Nighthawks. Also good in M13. Also good just period. So what did Cliff draw off the top? Obviously, everything he's drawing is super live. Like, all of his business cards are amazing.
He can cast anything.
Even if he Terminuses or Supreme Verdicts at this point, like, is the Angel Serenity, is it when it leaves play, or is it a dies trigger?
I think it's when it leaves the battlefield.
Okay, we can check that
I'm
out.
not 100% on that, though.
Well, thanks to technology, Michael, I got your back.
This is why I don't bother remembering things,
because you just figure at some point I'll be in the broom closet on the Magic stream.
The internet remembers things for me, so why waste the brain power?
I don't know. I don't have much brain power to waste tonight, I'll be honest with you.
Leaves the battlefield. Yep.
Leaves the battlefield, so it's much like Thragtusk in that there's no good way to interact with it. That card is too good. It does cost 7, and it's heavily white committed, but we're also playing in a format where every color combination is possible. Cliff is playing a 5-color deck.
Yeah.
That splashes for a 10 cost, 3 red mana sorcery. So he's lining up something, a doozy here.
I'm not going to lie, I want to see him win this game. I really love this deck.
I would like to see him lose this game and then play another game.
That's
Oh, he's going to flash back
going
to flash back the tutor, that of course increasing ambition. I believe that's 8 to flash it back, right? 7 in a black?
Yeah, I think that's right. And even if you have Omniscience out, you still got to pay the flashback cost. But if you have Omniscience out, you're not doing anything else with your mana anyway, so it's never really a big deal.
So, there is the Worldfire, right? He's going to win with Worldfire. Please do it. If for nothing else, just to do it. But does he have... He can't generate the red mana without a lantern, right?
Yeah, I don't think
he can. Oh, he can. Does he have Steam Vents?
I think the deck plays 1 Steam Vents, so you can produce 1 red mana, but you're going to need the lantern to be able to hard cast it.
I think as much as I would like to see...
But he is tutoring for a 2nd card as well, so...
So you could just
get...
Yeah, you get both of them. I don't see what he got. But yeah, you just tutor for a lantern and... tutor for a lantern and tutor for... Or you could tutor for Omniscience and another increasing ambition. It's probably the best play, right?
Yeah, I think so, because he's still going to need a win condition or enough mana to be able to Worldfire and float mana to cast that Thragtusk he gets back from the Angel.
You got a lantern. And then what are the other cards in his hand, you know? You don't attack here, do you?
I definitely wouldn't.
Because isn't he just dead now?
I mean, it's assuming they've both forgotten about the Scavenge. Which is the only thing I can think of. I don't think you block there either.
No. But again, Nathan's relatively new.
Yeah, he's probably just happy to get that Angel off the board.
Scavenges is a mechanic that doesn't really come up that much.
No.
I think Dreadmangler is the only tier 1 card that really plays it, or it really has it. And even then, those games usually don't go long enough that you're flashing back for 5, basically. So Corpse Jack in hand, and it looks like he drew a Tribute to Hunger. So we'll see what kind of... what that last card is in Cliff's hand. I didn't see, like I said, I didn't see what he tutored for.
I didn't either, but I think he definitely should have gotten another tutor at least.
Because he does have 10 mana, right? I mean, I don't know how many lands are in that stack there, but there's like 5. Thragtusk, hard cast again. Pump fake. So he has a Thragtusk in hand, which was bounced from the Angel. He has a Hallowed Fountain, and now a Supreme Verdict. So he's going to Supreme Verdict, Then he's going to cast his Thragtusk. Then he's going to play his Hallowed Fountain tapped.
I bet he tutored for the Lantern and Worldfire. So he's on the plan of getting Thragtusk in play and then Worldfiring.
He doesn't have Worldfire. I think he went and got a Verdict in a Thragtusk.
Ah.
No, I think he went and got a Verdict in the Lantern. We saw him get the Lantern.
Yeah.
I think I would have gotten Increasing Ambition and Omniscience.
Yeah, I think that would.
But I think that is
the
also
best
the
thing.
kind of play that I could make here, having the ability of retrospection
Yeah.
and not having just made this deck right before the tournament, which I think there's 2 or 3 copies of this deck, and in fact you were talking about wanting to build this deck as well.
There's at least one other copy of this deck floating around the shop tonight.
So,
And yeah, I definitely want to try to put it together. I'm still missing like Temple
if
Masteries
nothing
and
else,
stuff,
it is
but-
fun.
Yeah.
It's very weak to counter Magic.
Oh, definitely.
But if there's a deck that's trying to win with creatures, it does pretty well.
Yeah.
I think your worst matchups are anything with Gerald's Messenger and like the
Honestly,
blue-white flash.
I think its worst matchups are probably the best decks in the format right now.
But it's fun, right?
But it's fun to play at Friday Night Magic.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't see it consistently beating Rakdos Aggro. I don't see it consistently beating like Bat Control.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just looking to have fun and not necessarily win every single game, it is a fine deck.
Oh, he's just going on the beatdown plan. He's just going to sink into his... The Wolf Run's a one-of, right?
Yes, the Wolf Run is a one of.
And you only have one creature in it? Well, you have Angels. I don't know
And,
how many that is.
I think he also runs Grizzlebrand, a single copy.
I don't know how
You
many
got
it is,
there.
but it's clearly enough. So congratulations to Cliff Marcum. Cliff is especially glad, and I'll tell you why he's so excited. Cliff Marcum has played on camera no less than 8 times and has never won until right now. And in fact, he's made multiple play mistakes that people have killed him for. So congratulations, Cliff, for playing your deck 100% correctly and pounding in for the win. Very interesting deck. Like I said, if you want to get that deck list, that is Travis Wu's deck list from Channel Fireball. You can go there directly, or you can go to ZachSellsMagic.com. We have a link. It was posted a couple days ago, so just look for it there. And while you're at it, might as well like our page and help support the stream in that regard. Most importantly, now that we've finished the first round, we will probably not have an opportunity for another match in this round. We are under 10 minutes remaining. But I do want to take this opportunity, as we do every week, to thank the good folks here at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia, for letting us hijack their FNM and broadcast it to you over the internet. Lost Legion has 4 locations here in South Charleston, but also in Parkersburg, Beckley, Princeton, and did I say Parkersburg already?
I don't think so.
Parkersburg is 4th one. That's the newest shop. So all of these are in West Virginia. All of them are regional. So if you're in Columbus, Pittsburgh, Blacksburg, Roanoke, Lexington, all a convenient drive should we have a big event that you want to check out. FNM stream live every week, at least every week that I'm available, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic. If you're watching on YouTube, which it's very unlikely if you're watching the YouTube video that you've lasted this long, I have the numbers to indicate that no one watches past the first match or first game. But definitely come and try and check us out live. It's a lot of fun. We've got a lot of regular viewers. It's fun to interact in the chat and to watch some fun Magic live. As I say every week, it's my de facto slogan. If you can't make your FNM, come watch ours. So thanks again to the guys here at Lost Legion. And now the point that everyone looks forward to, or at least they have in the last few weeks, as we switch to the studio cam and see the progression of my winter beard, which it will inevitably be the primary discussion point.
My poor beard pales in comparison.
You have a solid beard, Michael. You have a very solid beard. It is full and well trimmed. I'm going for more of a disheveled homeless lumberjack look. That is just my personal preference. But anyway, my name is Zach Evans. This, of course, is Michael Taylor. As we'll have to get your Twitter on there. What's your Twitter at?
I don't have
I Heart
Twitter.
Baseball 96.
I'm not on the Twitters.
Right. You're on the Reddit, and that's enough for
I'm on
everyone.
the Reddits. I'm on the Facebooks.
Like I said, thanks for joining us. That was a pretty exciting game 1, or match 1. Good to get Cliff on there when we knew he was when I knew he put that deck together, when he told me yesterday that he was putting that deck together, he was looking for cards for it, I thought, well, just go ahead and move over to the feature match table.
Yeah.
The only thing that would prevent that is his opponent objecting, but Nathan was kind enough to allow us to show their match, so that's pretty good. Like I said, 46 people here tonight. I don't know. I'd be curious in the chat. Feel free to chime in. Oh, and someone has posted the link in the chat now. So if you're watching live, there's an updated link apparently to the new Travis Wu deck, so you can get it there. But yeah, I'm curious in the chat how many of the other locations a lot of people watching from Europe, a lot of people watching from other locales in the States. 46. I don't care where you're at. You know, if you're here in West Virginia, if you're in Chicago, Houston, Miami, 46 is a lot of people to have in a local Friday Night Magic tournament. So it's excellent to see those numbers consistently showing up at the shop, and you know, we definitely appreciate you supporting the stream. I'm not necessarily trying to take credit for this because it has nothing to do with me. It's all about the game. The game is just very popular. It's very mainstream right now.
Ravnica brought a big influx of new players.
Well, it started with Innistrad. Innistrad Game Day, or Innistrad, I keep saying Game Day, but Innistrad Release was the highest attended event up until that point that we've ever had at Lost Legion for Magic. And you attended that one at the old shop, right? At our old location. And now that we've moved to a new location, you know, we started doing the stream. We started to actually, you know, have more events. We've been having legacy events. There's talks. We've been doing casual drafts. You won the draft this week as well. Michael has opened 2 pack rats in 2 consecutive drafts.
Yeah. Feels kind of bad.
Not
actually.
even that, but you've opened 2 pack rats in 2 consecutive drafts in the 3rd pack, and you're already black, right?
Yes. The first draft, I took a rare drafted a Blood Crypt. First pick. I won't deny. I passed the Green-White Guild Mage for it just because I wanted it. No regrets. Straight up rare drafted it. But then I opened Abyssal Persecutor. Is that or no?
Desecration Demon.
Desecration Demon in the 2nd pack and Tack Rat in the 3rd pack.
Yeah, so running good, and you managed to win that one.
I did pretty good.
You did pretty good.
201.
Yeah. But like I was saying, you know, we've been doing a lot more events here. So if you are regional, are you local? There's a lot of people who are asking me. I think someone earlier today asked us how far we were from Lexington. It's only about 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
it's the kind of thing where it's like all the major areas that are close to us. Like I said, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Roanoke, Blacksburg, Lexington. Those are basically the closest areas. It's the kind of thing that you could do a day trip for. Like if we had a Grand Prix trial or some, like, you know, cash tournament or something like that, it'd probably be worth, you know, coming down. I mean, we live here and we go to Columbus all the time for events, but probably not the thing you want to do for FNM. But if you're ever in the street, you know, holidays coming up, if you're, you know, coming back to the area,
it's going to be in a couple months.
Pre-release is coming out after the first of the year. We should be having some Grand Prix trials. And I talked to JB today, and he said that they plan on having another Star City Invitational qualifier as well. So that's a cash event. That's a pretty good payout. All of that information will be available as it becomes available on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. But anyway, like I was saying, I'd be curious to see how many people they have at other places. We're getting the roll call in the chat. We've got Beulah, Michigan, Chicago, Pikeville, which is relatively close, but I know James there. Detroit. Yeah, like I've told, actually, I know Nick in the future. Like I said, I'm coming to Detroit in 2 weeks, so we'll have to jam some games. There's Cliff. Cliff, get in here. Is there a chair available?
Oh, it's all right.
I'll stand.
I'll kneel down.
You going to grab a knee?
Oh.
So, Cliff, we were just talking about how the fact that we got 46 people playing this bad boy tonight.
It's
and we're doing a roll call in the doing a roll call here, trying to see where everybody's from. Someone's from Sparta. They're not actually from Sparta. That's just a 300 reference. I'd like to see that. Well, somebody's from Huntington. Somebody not to be there tonight. That's the problem. Is I know a lot of these people from Facebook and locally, but I don't know what their
location.
Know what their usernames are.
Ah, yes.
I know. For example, I know Jeremy Bales because his name always has a shark in it. But I don't know everyone that well to know exactly what's going on. So, but anyway, so Cliff, I'll change your name here as Michael Michael Slenderman said over there. But Cliff, you're playing the deck, and this is exactly.
This is the exact Travis Wu build, except for...
Is it the link that we posted on the Facebook page?
Yes, it is. Except for one sideboard card, I went with Curse of Echoes in the sideboard because we do have a substantial amount of control.
Yeah, there's a lot of Sphinxes. There was a lot of last week, Garrett Meadows won the tournament with... He actually, last week, I don't know if you watched, last week they played it out. We played 5 rounds and then played all the way through the finals. And then Garrett won, and he He won a box.
Nice.
First place at FNM last week was a box.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to see. Cliff, more importantly, I'm digging out your sideboard here to talk about Magic cards, and what do I spy?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Because Cliff was a previous winner.
Yes, sir.
So congratulations, Cliff. If you want your own playset of these awesome cards, you may have seen us. That's how we started our feature match. That's how we start all of our feature matches. Rolling dice, clearly for noobs. Cliff, also, I should mention, Cliff, you are the resident in-house graphic artist.
Yeah,
it's
a hobby now.
You are, in fact, the... I'll show it later tonight. But for some reason, when I switch cameras, the stream has been crashing on me in weeks past. So I'm just rolling the dice here. Looks like we're good to go. But this is a Cliff Marcum original right here.
Yes, yeah. Adam Vickers was very happy about this. He really enjoyed seeing himself.
And I don't necessarily want to screw the pooch, as they say, or spill the beans.
Yeah.
As some 8-year-olds would say while playing that game. But Michael, I've been in talks with you, as well as your lovely wife Sarah, who has been making some sweet tokens. I think we showed them last week, your custom Donkey Kong Beast tokens and Pac-Man Spirit tokens.
I thought you were talking about the poop tokens.
Also the poop tokens, those also there. I was trying to keep it classy.
Yeah.
But we are in the works. Adam Vickers tokens.
Yes.
So get ready for that. That's coming. But let's talk a little bit about... Did you de-sideboard already?
Yes.
Okay. So you're playing... We're going to talk about Cliff's Worldfire deck, the Travis Wu deck. Let's just go through the sideboard cards. So the Temporal Mastery... Why is there one in the board, I wonder?
It's really good against aggro. I mean,
it's where you need more tempo.
Yeah, it's basically another fog.
Yeah.
Basically, just stalls another turn.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That's a card I think is drastically underplayed in a lot of these decks, but it's good to see that in there. And then there's the aforementioned Curse of Echoes you're talking about, which is basically the ideal counter for Sphinx's Revelation. Yeah. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. It has some other... I'm sure there's some other intricacies, removal and stuff like that.
If I landed against control, they can't counter my spells.
Right.
So
that seems good.
Yeah. How much does that cost to get out?
7,000. No, just
four and a blue.
4 and a blue.
Oh, that's
I don't know why I decided just to grief you.
Huh? That is much better than 7,000.
Yeah, it's remarkably less. And it's just 1 blue too, so you can splash it pretty easily. Then you do have, of course, the full play set of Centaur Healers, self-explanatory, bring those in against aggro decks. And then you're playing, like Michael pointed this out because he was also putting this deck together because it's super fun. But it only plays 1 of old Thrag Tuskington in the main deck, and it plays the other 3 in the board because it's not really using it as a win condition. And you have you're playing, what, 7 sweepers?
Yeah.
Or does it play all of them?
I think it might play 6.
6?
I think it has...
4 verdicts, 2 terminus, maybe?
It plays 4 verdict, 2 terminus.
Yeah, the other 2 terminus are in the board.
Yeah.
Okay, so it does have access to 8. You can go up to... Basically, the sideboard is just anti-creature.
Yeah. And also, the Thragtusk come in when you bring in Worldfire. Though, even though I did not bring the Thragtusk in last game, I did bring in Worldfire because I really wanted to get it off.
Yeah, we were hoping. We were searching for it.
Well, when I did the flashback on the Increasing Ambition, I had it and I put it down. And then I was like, I don't feel safe doing that because he has some haste creatures in his deck.
Yeah, I think the correct play there, we were talking about it, I think the correct play was to get Omniscience and then whatever you wanted.
Well, I thought about that too, but I really wanted, I figured this way it would take a couple of turns, but I would eventually run him over with the Thragtusk.
Yeah, the way you did is, to be quite honest, it's an embarrassment of riches. I think it didn't really matter what you did there. Yeah. Also, you were dead on board multiple times. But he missed it. He scavenged.
He definitely. I told him about that afterwards. I was like, he's a new player. He's,
we mentioned that.
It's his first FNM, so he was really kind of behind.
He's played here a couple times before, but he hasn't been playing much longer than like a month or so.
Yeah, I think his first time here might have been 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And then also rounding out your sideboard, you do have 2 copies of Sphinx's Revelation. The other 2 are in the main?
Yes.
Okay. And then the aforementioned Worldfire, which basically I imagine comes in as another combo way to win, but I would imagine only against decks that can't counter it. I don't think you want to bring that deck in against a Syncopate or Dissipate deck.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I did get it off against Gibbs in playtesting earlier today. But
he was playing Blue-White Flash. How did that matchup go for you?
Well, actually, I only won 1 game.
I would think it would be awful.
Yeah, it really wasn't good.
He has infinite counter
we never really sideboarded much, and I never did hit the Curse of Echoes.
Yeah, you would basically, sideboarding against him, you would bring in maybe 4 cards, the Sphinx's Revelation, the Curse of Echoes, and then the 15th card in your sideboard, which is a Travis Wu favorite.
Yeah.
He jams this in all of his decks, which is the 1 Planar Cleansing, which is destroy all non-land permanents. That's his answer to Planeswalkers, because you're not a Detention Sphere deck, really. You're not an O-Ring deck, really. I guess you could be a Pithing Needle deck, but Planar Cleansing it gets everything. It's a Wrath plus Planeswalker. So
yeah, that was one thing I actually wanted to try to put into the deck, and I thought about taking that out and was putting like a Detention Sphere or something where I could target and get rid of one thing in particular, or like a bunch of tokens.
Well, I mean, you just, like we were saying, you just put this deck together before FNM tonight just to jam. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Win or lose, you're going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
How fun is it to play a door and then take an extra turn?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I believe the way it worked, I think I took a turn, then I played a Temporal Mastery, drew the door, then played door and played Temporal Mastery. So I took I think three turns.
Yeah, the way the
row,
sequence works is, for those of you who weren't here earlier or just joined us or are familiar, if you resolve Omniscience, if you have a tutor in your hand, you win the game.
Yep.
Barring counter magic. You land Omniscience, you tutor for all of your other tutors,
Yep.
just to get them in the graveyard.
Yep.
Then the last one, you get a Temporal Mastery. Then your next turn, you flash back one of the tutors, gets a Door to Nothingness, and who cares what else. Actually, you could...
You get another Temple Mastery, I think. So you could
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it really matters. I did this all on Cockatrice the other day, because as soon as I posted that deck, I'm just like, I'm going to jam infinite games of this. But so you take your extra turn, you play the door, you take your other extra turn, because you have 2 Temporal Masteries in the main.
Yes.
And then on that turn, you activate your Door to Nothingness and target your opponent, and then they lose the game. That's how Magic works.
Yeah, and you can also do the same thing, but use Nicholas Bolas.
Nicholas Bolas.
Nicol Bolas side.
Indeed.
Yeah, whatever.
Nicholas Bolas. You're going to have to use that. That's going to have to be another stream meme, is Nicholas Bolas.
That could be alter to St. Nicholas Bolas.
St. Nicholas Bolas. You're going to have to come up with like a House MD with the Nicole Bolas.
It's going to be very bad.
Nicholas Bolas MD. Well, it was a lot of fun. We enjoyed watching it. We were, unfortunately, trying to stay objective in here, but it's tough to... You want to see the fun deck do fun
It's really
thing.
hard to not root for that deck.
Yes.
Well, I was also hoping that first round would be a pretty, maybe a kitchen table deck, and it kind of was. Like I said, it's definitely not a real test for the deck or my playing skills, which we know can be at an all-time low.
You made no play mistakes.
I was very cautious of that. I was worried.
You almost did play Thragtusk, then Supreme Verdict, but you caught yourself.
Yes.
But you did not play any cards illegally, so we have no issues. The chat did not... Oh, no, you did make a mistake. I'm sorry. The Temporal Mastery is removed from the game.
Oh,
you put it in your graveyard, but I told the chat, I said, if it comes up, if you discard Emrakul and have to reshuffle, I'll go out there and let you know. But no, just no.
Yeah, there's no flashbacks or anything on that.
Yeah, I did tell them that it was very good to see you finally break the seal on feature match wins.
I have one other match on camera. Mm-hmm. I've got one win in like 5, 6.
You won another one?
Yeah.
Which one did you win?
I beat Joseph Messer.
Oh, yes, that was the infamous he blocked with the Gravecrawler deck.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time we ever interacted with a match.
Yeah.
And that was funny, too, because...
That was not my mistake.
We've talked about before the broom closet that we've come to know our little studio here. Before we were just inundated with all the junk that's on the other side of it here, limiting our space. Max Turner was in here. Hey, Max the big boy. He's played some offensive line in his day.
Yeah.
He tried to get out there and correct it for you and just had to jam past all this stuff. And it was just like a bull in a china shop. He's just tearing through there. So that was fun for multiple reasons for me.
Yes.
But good to see. But so congratulations. Should have fun. Win or lose. You're going to have some tough matchups running into.
That's true. But I've already got to Door to Nothingness someone this evening. And that's a good
win. That's a win.
Yeah.
It's a moral victory.
Yes, it is.
We're living the dream. So we hope everybody...
Every Magic player should have.
My next goal...
off their checklist is activate Door to Nothingness.
Yeah, my next goal is Worldfire. That is what I...
There it is. See? The chat. Make sure he removes his Temporal Masteries.
They hate me.
But that is a good point. And you did tell Nathan about the scavenge.
Yeah, I talked to him.
So
Just gave him a couple of tips. I'm by no means a good player myself.
No, it's not. It's not a means of correcting. It's more of you may not be aware of this because for a new player, to be quite honest, there was multiple times where I forgot you had. I knew he had Deborah's Goliath in his graveyard, but I forgot about the Dreg Mangler myself. Yeah. So it's just not something when you've got this big pile of cards and that's the one that's relevant.
But I'm definitely not going to tell him in the middle of the game.
Well, you might because you're an ass.
Well, I mean,
I know Michael Taylor is.
I wasn't going to be like, hey man, you can scavenge that, and I was like, do I take advantage of this to the rookie player? And I said, yes, I do.
Well, I don't think you didn't take advantage of him. That's not what I was trying to suggest at all. Yeah, but it's just a learning opportunity. So that does come up sometimes. So, well, Cliff, congratulations, moves to 1-0 in the winners bracket. You're going to have to slog through 4 more rounds here to make it to the top 8. We will be taking a quick break here so that I can stretch my legs a little bit. So thanks for everyone who's watching. I apologize that we had some downtime here, but sometimes you don't have enough time to go out there and try to find another match. When it ends at around 10 minutes to go in the round, it's very difficult to find someone who's exactly at the game 3 point. And to be quite honest, sometimes the specific matches you find that are available, it's probably not worthwhile to move them.
Definitely, to be honest with you, time is up in the round, and we have some people going to 5 turns. Because when I walked in, Brandon Gibbs was in a mirror match with Blue-White Flash. Mm-hmm. That was on game 1.
But that's their fault. But that's their fault for playing Blue-White Flash.
That is true. That is very true.
Actually, it's a pretty fast deck, but I'm just not feeling it.
Game 1 though, I was like, wow.
Wait, game 1?
Yeah, they were on game 1.
At West Virginia State Tournament this year, which you can watch on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ZachSellsMagic, all 7 rounds all.
Here we go.
Ready to go?
Yep.
Round 2 coming
I
up.
also picked up another table.
No break for
48.
48.
Wow.
48. But I will finish my story there. There was a game in the state tournament in round 2 that went to...
What am I? To interrupt you yet again.
Well, it was a draw because game 1 never finished in the state tournament. 2 good players I knew. One guy top 8'd. You are at...
Table 7? 8?
Are you... no. You are at 8. Playing Chris Mills. More importantly, we will be taking a brief break as we go find you a feature match, and then we'll be right back for more non-stop Magic action. So, and also, I will warn everyone that for whatever reason, in the past few weeks, when I turn back the feature camera, the stream does intermittently stop, but it will come right back immediately. So if that happens, just stick with it. The stream is not going away. So we'll be right back.